Hello and welcome, Inspired Podcast community. This is your new episode. My name is Caroline, and my today's guest is Arlene Cohen Miller. And I'm so happy that you are here and you said yes to our interview. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Wow, that's great. And I would love to introduce you to the audience, of course. Mhm. You are the CEO of Jewel Consultancy, and you are a work life balance and harmony coach who helps women lead fulfilling lives. As a mentor and a professional certified coach with the International Coaching Federation, you support individuals seeking personal growth. You are also an AB rated Colorado attorney, certified meditation facilitator, and you hold a diploma in transformational holistic counseling from Australia. Welcome to the Inspired Podcast, Arlene Cohen Miller.
Thank you so much. I'm really grateful to be here.
Wow, and my first question to you is, how do you guide your clients in creating a balance between their personal and professional lives? And what strategies have you found most impactful?
Well, that's a really big question, isn't it? Because everyone is different. And I think it's really important as a coach, and I also mentor people, both men and women with transformational mentoring. But so it's really important to get to know your client and what exactly are their goals. So every person is different. And I think as a coach, what we really know how to do, and also as a mentor, is really to listen to people and we give people the gift of just holding a judgment-free space that's filled with that what I call unconditional positive regard, so they can share exactly what's going on for them, what their goals are, what's happening in their life that's holding them back, where they feel stuck, and then we can begin to work together as a partnership to decide, okay, where to from here? What do we need to focus on? Oftentimes, what we need to focus on is not so much what's happening on the outside but what is happening on the inside. Because lots of times, what happens is that we tell ourselves stories that are not helping us, stories that are holding us back of what we can do and what we can't do. And we create these like glass ceilings for ourselves that says, I can go this far, but I can't do anything else. I don't have time for this. I can't do this for myself. And so there's a lot of patterns and programs that as adults we put into place as children. And so what I do is I help the clients to dissolve those patterns and programs that aren't working and put programs in place or just ways of being in place that are going to serve them. So we help to turn that inner critic into an inner coach. We really find out where they feel stuck and where they want to be unstuck and actually what their goals are because every person's different. Maybe one person feels really strong in their professional career, but when it comes to home, it feels messy and there's things going on that they need to change in relationships and maybe they come home tired and they don't have enough time for themselves, or maybe some clients everything's going great at home but at work it just feels like they're dragging and they don't know if that's where they want to be and maybe they want to change professions. So there's not really one size fits all, but I do find that there's common threads of that we need to work on how we treat ourselves and how we engage in self-care and self-love so that we can be the best we can be in life. And it's always important to remember with clients that there's no such thing as a perfect. Sometimes we put impossible demands on ourselves, and we need to work with that as well so that we have reasonable goals and we're not stressing ourselves out all the time because we're placing unrealistic expectations of what we can do in a day. So there's a lot involved. And I think we need to always remember that each person is unique and to meet them one on one and start from there.
Wow, absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing. I loved how you pointed out the glass ceiling. That means, yeah, I call it upper limit. And then when you put in the glass, then you can see the goal already you set with your client, or you help them to find out what is their goal in the first place, of course. So when you said there is no answer, no one fits all, of course you start with the question, what do you really, really want? And then you go from there, find out the goal. And I love also your answer concerning find the answer in themselves, the coachee, of course. And I think when I have an image in mind, then it is you as the coach and mentor, being with the client as a partner, you said, for a certain amount of time, a little time period, months or years maybe, and then to help them to find the inner coach.
Right.
I
And you
love
know,
it.
and things evolve and change over time. It's not static when you're when you're working with work-life balance and harmony. You know, our kids get older, our responsibilities change, and so it's really important to help people to be flexible and adaptable and to be kind and patient with themselves as they're working through their life and exactly, what they want to create because that's going to evolve and change over time as well.
Yes, absolutely. The word change, this podcast is about stories of change and success. And when you are open to change, to the change, not to be changed, but the natural flow of change, then it leads to a greater success, right?
Right. And what we have to give ourselves a break with is sometimes I call it like our personality or our ego doesn't like change, but the greater soul that we are loves change and loves to evolve and move forward. So sometimes we say that we want to do things, but then we encounter all sorts of conflict and resistance within ourselves. And it's important to be kind to ourselves when that happens. It's sort of natural part of being human. And then we can find ways to continue to move forward, even though there's a personality part of us that really says they want change, but maybe not.
Yes, that's so true. And to find that out, so you are the balancing coach, so to say, balance with harmonies as well and help your clients. I love that so much. My next question, as both a coach and an attorney, how do you integrate your legal background into your coaching approach for work-life harmony?
Well, I guess the way I integrate it is, and the reason I became a work-life balance coach is that I started my own law firm when I was 25. I had been out in the world and worked for some other attorneys for a couple of years. And as soon as I opened my little shingle as a solo practitioner, I found out that I was pregnant. And at the time I was married, my ex-husband was working 70 hours a week or so. So he really wasn't available to help me manage this new thing, a new business, pregnant, going to be our first child, and our family was about a 6-hour drive from us, so I didn't have any family support there. So literally, I was 30 years old. My son was born. I had just started a new business like 9 or 10 months ago. I didn't have any family support, and so I could have really used a work-life balance and harmony coach then. I was like creating everything from scratch. And so I have personal experience of what it's like to have all those plates spinning and really have to build my own tribe to support me and join other women that were doing the same for themselves. So I guess from personal experience, I know what it feels like. And from the and of course everyone's experience is different, but because of that, I just think it's really important for, I don't know, women to step together in groups, for coaches and mentors to be there for women, to assist them where when they're going through all this kind of development and change and growth. And so I'm really, really passionate about stepping forward and giving women the help and coaching that I didn't have when I was young.
Yeah, absolutely. I understand. So some of us are like lonely wolves or so. I don't know if you call it that way. And then we think we have to figure it out by ourselves, right?
Yeah, but we do so much better when we come together in groups of like-minded souls. We have a lot of commonality and we can work with each other's strengths, and it feels a lot easier then. We're not bearing the burden on our shoulders by ourselves. And when we have that group together working, we can lend our strengths, other people can lend their strengths, and it feels to me it's a much better and kinder way to bring that balance and harmony into our lives.
Yes, I love that approach. I was blind for so many years for that. I discovered in the last 2 or 3 years how important it is to have a supportive community, let's say, and this is what you also support. I love that so much, the message already. Thank you so much. And what role does meditation and holistic counseling play in your mentoring process? And how have these practices influenced your personal evolution?
Well, I people can come together. I think it's important to have quiet time, and a lot of people get scared off by meditation. So mindfulness and sort of meditation go together. So if you don't have a meditation practice, I think we need something where we turn off our computer, where we find ways to relax and release and let go and get away from the hustle and bustle and stress of life. And so, if you don't have that kind of practice or some sort of mindfulness practice where we're just really aware and fully present in our bodies and we're finding ways to enjoy our life, it's not that hard to start. We can start with like simple breathing techniques because if we breathe in a way that helps us to relax and release and let go, we're going to help to let go of stress. And that's the point of spending this time with ourselves. So even a simple breath work technique of like breathing in through our nose, breathing out through our nose with the out breath longer than the in breath, we're giving our body the signal physiologically that it's okay to relax, release, and let go and get off that stress wheel where we feel like wound up and tense. And or we can practice meditation by having like a walking meditation, getting out in nature, going slow, really appreciating the world around us. We can have a meditation practice by listening to music that is uplifting and helps to calm us down and opens our heart. And we can be mindful, and these are all ways to calm ourselves down so that we detach from the wound upness of the world. We really, really need that for ourselves. It can be as simple as I have all these things to clean my house or to wash my car, but I'm going to do it slowly. I'm going to do it in a way that I'm really enjoying the process and not just rushing through every step of our life. And so when we give ourselves that gift, we slow down, we relax, and the world sort of opens up to us because then all the things we have on our plate feel much easier to do because we are in a different space. And so if you don't have a meditation or mindfulness practice, you can just maybe even start with 5 minutes. I'm going to give myself 5 minutes of breath work, or I'm going to follow some, meditation thing on YouTube for 5 minutes and just see how it feels and find someone that we resonate with. But taking that little amount of time and giving ourselves that gift to just let that other world go is going to revitalize ourselves and give ourselves the energy and that calm assurance to handle whatever life presents. And
Yes.
so I guess I'll just start with that and see what you want to ask with that.
Oh, it's good. So I understood. It's important to start, to slow down, to relax, to give yourself the gift. I love how you use the word gift. And I think I heard the definition about appreciation is offering happiness to yourself. It's those little moments when we slow down and we realize where we are in the here and now. Because when we are rushing, as you mentioned, not cleaning, washing your car, and rushing, and then you are in your mind at the next activity. You are not in the now moment, right? And so,
Right.
so when you talk about meditation, do you have a morning routine you recommend, or
Um,
evening?
Well, I think you really need to look at your life. If you're a mom with small children and you have to get to work, it might not be feasible while you're getting everyone off to work to have your meditation time then. But you need to find a time in the day that works for you. Maybe the same time every day, so it's becomes a habit where you just take time. Okay, this is my me time. Maybe it's 15 minutes in your room, maybe it's just a stroll in nature, whatever works for you, just to calm down and give yourself because it is self-care and it is self love to give ourselves some quiet time to just be. And even if you can meditate, even lying down on your bed, just a nice quiet room with some relaxing music that just helps us to be fully present, but not in that wound up routine where we have to get something done. We're just enjoying spending that time with ourselves in a different lower gear to let go of all that hurriedness and have a different experience of life because we can bring that to ourselves. So I know I'm not answering your question, but I really think it depends on, what's going on in our life. It's not reasonable to think we have to do it first thing in the morning if we have to get our kids off to school. So we have to really look at what works for me and what can I commit to.
Okay, so it has to be the right moment. We cannot rush meditation.
Yeah, it's just giving yourself that this is my timeout break,
Mhm.
and I'm going to do it in a way that I feel fully present. And so we really feel grounded and present in our bodies. And one way we can gift that to ourselves if we just feel like we're off balance and all over the place is I pretend that I'm a tree. I feel like there's like this light that's going down my body, down my legs, out my feet, like huge roots of light, and I'm anchoring to the planet like a tree. And I really feel myself grounded and fully present and breathing that way so that I can sort of pull myself in and I don't feel so scattered.
Oh, that's a good image. I think I never thought of it that way, to feel like the tree, grounded as well, and
Yeah,
connected to all the other world, to nature, right?
yeah,
To the other things. Yeah.
yeah,
Thank you
yeah.
so much. I have another question about you are a coach, and when people are looking for a coach or someone to support them, as you said, what would you say? How do you recognize or how do you differentiate between if someone is a good fit or someone is a good coach, so to say?
Um, I don't have like one size fits all because sometimes it just takes time. What I offer is like a discovery session, a very low cost discovery session that's like 45 minutes with people because I, like you, feel it's important to get to know the other person, where they can share what's going on in their life, where they want to go, their goals, what challenges and obstacles they're facing, and we can have a conversation and see, hey, do we feel like a good fit here? Because just because you read about someone on paper, how the heck do you know if you're going to be a match? And sometimes, you can just give yourself the gift of one coaching session. Let's just have a coaching session and see if we mesh together. And another thing that I like to do with clients is I'll send them like a client interview form to tell them so they can tell me about themselves and I can see what's going on for them and if there's a fit. But it really is a personal decision. Some people we click with and some people we don't. And so there's like no magic fairy dust I can sprinkle with people. But I guess if you go to somebody's website and if you sort of resonate with their story and resonate with what they're sharing on my website, I have a bunch of videos I've done about leadership and about being calm and relaxed. And I also have a blog with lots of articles on it. So if you see that, or maybe they have it on YouTube or other places, you can begin to get to know the person. But that's why I offer that discovery session at a very low price because how can you possibly know until you have a conversation? We do the best we can when we're looking through the internet and we're reading about people, but sometimes you just have to connect and see what happens.
Absolutely. I love that answer because, and I think this is the point that differentiates good coaches from not so good coaches, so to say. I think that they maybe the persons that are not so well trained or with not so much experience, they would accept every client that's presented, right? And when you say there is no one fits all or one solution, you have to find out, and you have discovery call as well. I love that. So maybe I think this is the right answer. I found the answer for me. Yeah,
Yeah,
when
yeah,
people are in a rush and they push you to sign a contract or something like that, then there must be something wrong about it. You have to have the time to think about, to make a decision, and to find out, like you said, how is the chemistry? I don't know if you call it that way, but if it resonates with you, and then it is the perfect coach for you. So when people reach out to you after listening to this episode, where can we find you? You already mentioned your website with videos on it.
yeah. So my website is Jewel Consultancy, Jewel, like the jewel, like a diamond, consultancy.com. And that's probably the best place to find me because you'll have my email address, you'll have my telephone number. I do have international texting. You can read about me, and I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on X, I'm on all those sites. But that's more about seeing who I am and how I present myself, and if that kind of stuff resonates with you or not. But to really, I guess, get a feel for me business wise and personally, I would go to the website.
Oh, I love that. Thank you very much. So now we talked about how you help clients to find out their goals and reach them. How about your own goals? Do you set goals for yourself? I assume you do, or intentions. And what is one of your next projects?
Well, I set the goal of being a podcast, not being a podcaster, but being a podcast guest. And I just, for me, because I just sort of follow my heart, it just felt like that it was really important to get out there and share my message with other people. I found Podmatch, which is an amazing site that puts us all together, so I don't have to search for podcasters and you don't have to search for guests in a way. And so, I mean, that's something that I decided about 4 months ago and just dived in. And so I I'm different when it comes to sharing my goals, and I just want to share this with your audience as well. For me, when I have a new goal, it's like a tiny seed, and the plant is just in beautiful soil, rich soil. It just poked its head out of the ground. And so what I like to do is to wait till my tiny seed becomes like a big, strong tree that no one else can mow over. Because oftentimes, if we share our exact goals with other people, people are going to have opinions, they're going to have projections, and they could put their energy into that goal not happening. So if we have something that's really, really precious to us, and we think that this is what we want to move forward with, it's like our baby. We nurture it, we water it, and we begin to put our energy into it. And once it's a lot stronger, and we've taken some steps and it's beginning to manifest in the world, then we can start sharing it with other people. But it's really important to protect it like it's a child while it's evolving and growing and taking roots into the ground.
Oh, I love that you mentioned it, protected like a child. It is your baby or our babies as well. And this is why we share our goals with the coach, maybe. And he or she has the same intention to help and support. Coaching is very important at that at that point, of course. So I love your answer and also the plant, the seed. And the when I think about those experiments they did with water, when you talk to water positively, then it's happy as well,
Right,
because it's like the human body contains to 80% of water, right? And then when you talk negatively, it gets unhealthy, so to
right,
say. And what you said about the plan is so true. When you share your goals too early, then people talk you out of it, and you will never reach your goals. So it is important to have a coach. Please reach out to Arlene. She's amazing. She has information not many people have, and she's willing to share and help you by reaching your goals or with your goals. I love that so much. And I love our interview. And I love Podmatch, by the way. I joined 3 weeks ago and I met amazing people like you. I'm so happy for this platform. And what I suggested, but this is like off topic. No, it's not off topic. I suggested that they create a platform like this for coaching to match the clients with the coaches, because it's, yeah, you insert keywords and you can schedule your discovery calls by a
right.
platform like this. I love that so much, the workflow. um, they are thinking about it right now. And yeah, thank you so much for our interview. I learned so much. Now is time for your, not last thoughts, first thoughts, for your whatever comes to mind to the audience before we close our
Yeah.
interview.
So I guess what I'd like to, maybe just a few words of wisdom, is that it's really important to be kind and patient and tolerant with ourselves. If we want to change, if we want to tweak a few things in our life so they're different and we feel more calm and relaxed and less stressed, it took us a while to get here. It's going to take some time to establish new ways of being, new habits, new tools to support ourselves so that we can present ourselves and feel different in the world. And there's no like little magic fairy dust that just falls down upon us and then we're totally different. It just takes time. And so we can commit ourselves to certain daily practices that will fill ourselves up with more love and more self-care and be kinder to ourselves and more patient and tolerant. And then we spread that out to the world. So if you feel more wound up and you'd like to be more calm, more patient, more tolerant with yourself and others, put together some self care and self love practices and be kind, patient, and tolerant with yourselves as you are beginning to implement and experience that change.
That was the best message. I will immediately start with the implementation of that. I learned so much. Thank you so much, Arlene. It was an amazing episode.
Thank you.
And see you in the next one.